Glory be to Jesus, who in bitter pains poured for us the lifeblood from his sacred veins. 64,700 cases in Hubei, Wuhan, and 2,500 deaths. Well, that's at least 4%, isn't it? That's 4% basically. 77,000 in China, 266 deaths. That's about 3.5%. Similar to worldwide. Oh, South Korea is just shy of 1,000 cases, but only just shy of 1,000 cases. Only just a little bit shy at 977. It's a global pandemic. The whole thing is nonsense. WHO 229. They haven't even put super high risk. Look, they haven't even put very high risk for regional level when there's 1,000 cases in South Korea. Absolutely ludicrous. Unbelievable. Okay, what have we got? Japan, 157 cases, up a bit. So it's still hot in Japan. It's still hot in Korea, very. Oh, Thailand's got 2 cases. Oh, it's very hot in Italy. And it's very hot in Iran too. Especially since somebody said there were 750 cases already, actually. Diamond Princess, that's going to be stopped now because the UK cases, the 4, where's the 4 in the UK that make it 13? There were 9 before, and there's 4 ones from the Diamond Princess, so it looks like they've been added to the national stats, probably in all cases, rather than to any other stats. Is 600, anybody above that 691 who's caught it recently since leaving the ship, or on leaving the ship, is counted with the countries now. Okay, just a brief video. This is 36, number 36 report from the WHO, 25th of February. Okay, here are your totals. 8239. China 77. You see, now the rest of the world was 1%, but now the rest of the world is 2,400 out of 80,000. It's nearly 3%. Yeah, it is 3% actually. So the rest of the world was 1% until a week or so ago, and now it's 3%. So the rest of the world is pulling away. China's look, 900 out of 80,000. Again, it's about 1%. Okay, about 1%, just over 1% new per day. China has less than 1% new per day. See, 518 out of 77,000. So China's at about 0.8% per day now. 71 deaths out of 2,666. That's still increasing at 3% a day. As I've said before, the number of deaths per day as a percentage of the total is still higher. The number of daily new deaths as a percentage is 3 times or 4 times the percentage of new cases, which means the death rate is going to go up, not down. I mean, it stands now at what, as I said, 2,666 in 70,000. That's 3% basically, nearly 3.5%. The death rate is 3.5% just on this, these numbers, naked numbers. And really, we should be looking at historic numbers, not today's numbers of confirmed cases. Or we should be looking at recoveries, deaths divided by deaths plus recoveries. In other words, outcomes. And you probably find there are 40,000 recoveries and 40,000 cases still in existence, roughly, if you looked on the Chinese website. Let's look on the Chinese website. Now, just right now, because it's on my front page, they call it cures, but it's not cures, right? When is a cure not a cure? Yeah. They're saying 30,000 cures, right? Which means 30,000 recoveries, 5,399 existing cases. So, yeah, it's getting on. It's about 40% of the total 78,000 cumulative cases are recovered. Okay. The severe cases has gone down. That was up over 11,000 at some point. Deaths, of course, 2,700. Suspected is down as well, actually. That's because China is really getting on top of this. But, you know, what did it take? What did it take for them to get on top of this? And how many cases did they miss? And how many people are dead at home who are never going to get a post-mortem and just going to be sent straight to the crematorium and burned, to be quite honest? Let's face it, Hubei, 41,000 of the existing cases are in Hubei, and 65,000 of the 80,000 total cases in Hubei, and 47,000 out of 80,000 total cases are in Wuhan. So, I mean, Hubei has, what, 4/5 of the total cases in the world, and Wuhan has about 55% of the total cases in the world. And that's still true, but the rest of the world is starting to catch up now. The rest of the world is starting to catch up because you've got... Oh, Korea has gone up, you see. It's much higher on here than it is in the last WHO report, which is probably yesterday's. It's now over 1,000. And is this a pandemic? Well, I don't know. Let's Google, shall we? Hey, Google. Hey, Google. Is COVID-19 a pandemic? COVID-19 and...
Here are the top search results.
Oh dear. Is COVID-19... COVID-19...
Here are some results from a search...
Well, that's artificial intelligence for you, isn't it, eh? Just search. Just write the damn thing. Yeah? COVID-19 pandemic. I'll keep saying the WTO because I keep thinking about Brexit. Why won't they declare it a pandemic? Well, because they're just liars, basically. They don't want to offend China, of course. Not yet a pandemic. They know it's going to get extremely worse, right? They know it's going to get extremely worse, so they're saving pandemic for when there are 1,000+ cases in about 10 different countries, right? I mean, it is a pandemic, really, but it's very, very, very close. Why do they say no? When with their own definitions, if there's community spread in 2 or more countries, or 1 or more countries outside the country of origin, it's a pandemic. But, you know, semantics, never mind about those people. They're not going to help anybody. So, yeah, okay, great website, this Chinese website, actually, because it does break it down. Let's have a look at Europe. Italy, 374 cases and 1 cure, 12 deaths. Look at the number of deaths. That's more than 3% already, isn't it? More than 3% of these people, and they've only just got it. So the death rate is going to be far, far more. You see here, 3% deaths in Europe, and most of these cases are very recent, within the last week. So that is going to go up. The death rate is going to be 5%, no problem. My forecast gives 4,400 deaths in China and 86,000 cases. You know, and that's, you know, at least 3.5%. So I'm going to sign off now with this very short video, and I'm going to do a proper one tomorrow.